Good morning, Uganda. It's the 10th of August, 2025, a day that Australia has enacted a world-first ban on social media for users aged under 16, causing millions of children and teenagers to lose access to their accounts. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, Kik, Twitch, and TikTok are expected to have taken steps from Wednesday to remove accounts held by users under 16 years of age in Australia and prevent these teens from registering new accounts. Now, this particular story is one that we did start with yesterday here on UBC TV, Good Morning Uganda, and a post was put up on our X handle, that is at UBC TV Uganda. A very interesting comment out of the many that came through, one that is seemingly from someone who's from Australia and was watching us and following from Australia. They put up a comment that reads, "This isn't to protect the children. That's just disguise. It's being facilitated as by MSM in our country. The real nefarious goal is absolute control of us, the people, through digital ID. We are the guinea pig testing ground country. Rest of the world watches closely." Now, this means that actually, whilst as a Ugandan you think, yay, this is good, and as a parent and being African, very strict on when it comes to our etiquette and culture, this sounds good, but it turns out that there's another perspective to this matter. Well, we're following up on the story and we'll be definitely informing you as it unravels from the different angles and perspectives, indeed, as the world is viewed. But welcome to the show. You are watching UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. Now, Burkinabe has an interesting story coming forth. 11 Nigerian military officers were briefly detained in Burkina Faso after their aircraft made an emergency landing in the country. Burkinabe security sources told the BBC. Now, the Air Force C-130 aircraft entered Burkina Faso's airspace on Monday without authorization, according to the country's territorial administration minister, Emile Zabo. In a joint statement, the military governments of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger said their prompt investigation confirmed the violation of its airspace and the sovereignty of its member states. But the Nigerian Air Force, NAF, said a technical problem meant the plane, which was en route to Portugal, had to land in accordance with safety procedures. Now let's come to Uganda. One of the updates that left the country shocked, of course, amidst campaign chaos. On the side of NUP, the National Unity Platform has suffered a setback after the Electoral Commission denominated the party's Busiro East parliamentary candidate, singer turned politician Matthias Walukaga. And this is according to the Electoral Commission. The candidate lacked minimum academic papers as required by the law, citing that these papers were expired. Now, the ruling has definitely sparked mixed reactions among supporters. I'm not alone on the show. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono and Joan Muronja. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning, Julie, and good morning to you, our viewers. Happy Wednesday. You need to smile because the week is indeed halfway over. So we are here to inspire you, and it is another day to make sure you do excel at whatever you are going to do or at whatever you are doing. Now, Parliament has approved an additional shillings at 23.89 billion for the Uganda Revenue Authority to facilitate staff bonuses. And this, yes, is following the tax body's record-breaking revenue performance for the financial year 2024-2025. And if the supplementary budget is executed as planned, Uganda's total spending will amount to shillings 78.631 trillion. Now, this comes amidst rising debt concerns by the government. And of course, our government plans to borrow shillings 4.278 trillion from foreign lenders and shillings 3.770 trillion shillings from local commercial banks to fund unfunded priorities in the financial year 2025-2026 of the national budget. But my concern is at the timing of the payout of their bonuses amid the rising debt cost, the borrowing that may really escalate the fiscal pressures. And we can also think about, is it really essential? But according to the Ministry of Finance, they stressed out that it is critical to do this because government functions will need funding and have to be funded for the ongoing development projects.
Interesting at that. John, thank you so much for that update. Now, Robert, good morning.
Good morning to you, Judy.
Do your academic papers expire?
No.
All right.
But...
It depends on what?
But I know where you're coming from. That is what is happening in the National Unity camp today. And I'll look at two things. One, what is the impact of this to the opposition? Sir Mathias Walukaga being denominated. Now, we must remember that these are coming to Parliament. But in Parliament, one thing that matters are numbers. It is on record that opposition has suffered for a very long time because they don't have the numbers when it comes to Parliament. And all they can do is to boycott, march out, go on the stairs of Parliament, where there are reporters there speaking camera. But where things are mattering, they're outnumbered and nothing changes. So the NRM has always had its ride, no matter whatever they want to pass.
Right.
As long as they are called for caucus, that has passed.
Are you trying to say the minority report is rarely considered?
Rarely, it doesn't make so much sense most of the time. So if there is anything in Parliament that the opposition needs are numbers. Now, Mathias Walukaga, Article 64 of our Constitution, allows anyone, including him, if he's not contented with the decision of the Electoral Commission, to appeal in the High Court. But Article 61 gives the Electoral Commission mandate. Now, he can choose to appeal. But of course, what are the grounds that he's going to appeal against the ruling? Now, if he loses, it means you'll have to pay compensation. The person who took him to this particular tribunal of the Electoral Commission, but the complainant, who he says is Honorable Medad Segona, despite Honorable Medad Segona not having been the petitioner. But he says the person who did that is more or less like, according to Mathias Walukaga, is more or less like the campaigning manager, Honorable Medad Segona. Now, it means this. Mathias Walukaga, of course, this ruling, if he chooses to go to the High Court, the judgment may come out before the elections. But in case it's not in his favor and he's totally out, that will mean National Unity Platform has lost that seat because this is their flag bearer. Remember, even if Honorable Medad Segona goes through,
Magola,
it is very clear they cut ties with National Unity Platform, with NUP. And he will be a very dangerous member of Parliament because he's come as an independent and he will be very sure that it's the power of the people, not the ticket. Now, let's look at Magola. Where is he attached to?
He was in NUP, but he was denied.
So he's now an independent.
He was in National Unity Platform.
Yes.
And he could be still a member, but coming as an independent.
For National Unity Platform, once you stand as a member,
you
have to be. As an independent, you cease to be unless you go through a very rigorous process to be readmitted. Now, there is Haji Chiimba.
NRM.
This is NRM, and he was once the chairman LC3 of Unsanji.
And he constructed the headquarters.
He went back, studied, did his senior 6, he's back. Now, if opposition is not well prepared, there are very many high chances of this seat going to the NRM, which has been predominantly an opposition ground. So, at this point, I wouldn't look at wasting time in the appeal, because the grounds may not favor Mathias Walukaga. In my opinion,
according to the press release from the
Electoral Commission, but how does the opposition now sit and strategize not to lose this seat to the NRM? Because numbers matter, and remember, this is another area that has been for opposition. So how do they sit? How do they prepare? Are they concentrating on Magola? Are they bringing back?
There is also Kangave.
No, sometimes you see everyone comes in an election.
Why are you laughing, Jolie?
No, you see,
Anyways,
there are those that contest just in like in any race. I see the Olympics here, where our
in
Ugandan
other words,
people
there are dogs
bring-
that bark loudest. Or
Which is
they are lions that
and
roar
even when you look
loudest.
at odds,
Oh, okay.
there are those you know, say in this general election, there are candidates that you very well know that they are standing for presidency, but they can't make it anywhere to number one. It can't rain soda.
Not
They
even
can't-
20%.
God's manna came from heaven many years, and that may not happen anymore. So even in this race, there are those candidates we know very well that cannot take that seat. But at least they have expressed, at least they will have a vote or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But the main candidates now, it is leading now, it is Haji Chimba
and
of
Medad.
NRM. Then Magola. Medad, Walukaga's denomination has not favored him in any way. Actually,
Exactly.
it has done him more harm than good. However, it could have brought contentment to him. You know, some certain times it is not the win you get, but it's what you make your opponent lose that brings satisfaction.
Yeah.
Believe you me, no one has been supporting Matthias Walukaga that is now going to turn
Support
guns
to
to
Medad
Medad
Segona.
Segona. Actually, even some of the few have been supporting him. After this happens, and Walukaga insists it's Medad Segona, it is not in his favor, by the way. It's against him.
Very interesting. Now, I did have a conversation with a lawyer to ask whether our academic papers really expire. And he did share that actually they do, in the sense of certification.
Exactly.
And many of us as Ugandans, we rarely take care or take the time to certify our documents, starting with as simple as our university undergrad transcripts. You get the transcript and that's it. You never go back to actually certify it. And you always have to keep on certifying after a while. So these are things that Ugandans rarely do, or we rarely pay attention to, but in actual sense, as by the law, we are meant to all the time make sure that our academic documents are certified.
That's true, because I once did a certificate in debt collection, but it was renewable every year. So it could have been the case with the adult education that Matthias
With
wanted
adult
to-
education, after you must have enrolled in a university.
within a space of two.
Within a space of 2 years.
yeah.
Now, if you've not enrolled within that space, it expires. But now the question is, I saw the Secretary General of National Unity Platform explaining things. Well, I wish they go to High Court.
Anyways, let's take our route as it's supposed to be, and that is starting with the local news. Robert.
We begin with the campaigns as usual. Now, NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni directed the Minister for Local Government, Raphael Magezi, to investigate the allegations of mismanagement of the parish development model funds in Chenjojo district. The president said he has been told that PDM officials in Chenjojo demand bribe for beneficiaries and select relatives. The NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni concluded campaigns in Rwenzori sub-region with his final rally in Chenjojo district. In Chenjojo, Museveni addressed a rally at Katos Primary School playground. Museveni directed the Minister for Local Government, Raphael Magezi, to investigate the allegations of mismanagement of the PDM. He pledged to rehabilitate the Fort Potro Mubende Mitiana Road. President Museveni encouraged the residents to embrace commercial agriculture and the 4-acre model. Today, Museveni will campaign in Kiryandongo and Masindi. Mulago Health Center International, situated in Mulago, Kawempe Division, is a quiet place where a patient can expect to get whatever is required as treatment and to save him or her life. A health facility hidden somewhere in a corner is where Dr. Henry Francis Kadaga and other doctors are operating unlicensed health facility, including doing operations which they are not qualified for. Yesterday, the Health Monitoring Unit, Allied Health Professional Management Council, Pharmacy Board from the Ministry of Health, together with police, in an operation they conducted in Kawempe Division, is where they found Dr. Henry Francis Kadaga, who was operating unlicensed health facility. Upon entering his facility, Dr. Kadaga was found doing an operation of appendix to a patient in a dirty theater. To the dismay of the health monitoring team was a freezer for medicine mixed with food and other saucepans inside the freezer. Dr. Kadaga was operating this facility with Arjuna, Andrew, and Hassan Budugo, who managed to escape arrest by jumping over the facility fence. Although Dr. Kadaga was asked the reason for operating a health facility without license, he found it hard to explain to the health monitoring unit. The public has been warned of unlicensed health facilities during the festive season. It should be remembered that Dr. Henry Francis Kadaga and Hassan Budugu are pending with charges of manslaughter at the Magistrates Court after operating a pregnant woman at Sunset Health Center and she lost her life. The government of Uganda has received 8 white rhinos from Munywangana Conservancy in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, a donation by the African Parks. The animals were received by the Director of Tourism Development, Dr. Basil Ajura, on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and transferred under Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary in Nakasongola. Uganda received 8 rhinos. 4 are female and 4 are male to strengthen breeding and long-term population growth. The Commissioner of Biodiversity Management, Uganda Wildlife Authority John Makombo, received the rhinos and described the arrival as reinforcement of the recovery program which aims at increasing rhino numbers in the country. Uganda's total rhino population is now at 59. The arrival of the rhinos demonstrates Uganda's growing species and responsibly growth of our wildlife-based tourism. The rhinos are currently being transferred under Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary for mandatory quarantine, veterinary monitoring, and acclimatization. Finally, from the local scene, the Executive Director of the Infectious Disease Institute, Dr. Andrew Kambugu, has confirmed the introduction of Cabotegravir, a new injectable prevention drug to prevent HIV/AIDS. This was during the World AIDS Day 2025 at the IDI Molago campus. This comes as the country still faces the challenge of supporting over 1 million people living with HIV/AIDS. Uganda still battles HIV/AIDS stigma as the country faces a challenge of supporting over 1 million people living with the disease. Executive Director of Infectious Disease Institute, Dr. Andrew Kambugu, confirmed the introduction of a new long-acting injectable HIV prevention drug. This breakthrough medication will target high-risk groups, including adolescents, teenagers, patients, and partners, as Uganda transitions to a domesticated HIV response program. IDI stressed prevalence vital care systems like counseling to maintain viral suppression and prevent drug resistance. The director of the program, Dr. Dungu, underscored sustainable systems. From the Ministry of Health, Dr. Susan Wandera represented the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Diana Atwine, on government's commitment to the patient-centered, evidence-based HIV care. Well, that brings us to the end of our local stories. More injectables to prevent you from contracting HIV/AIDS arriving in the country.
And of course, beginning off with the foreign coverage, US President Donald Trump has criticized European leaders as weak and suggested the US could scale back support for Ukraine. In a wide-ranging interview with Politico, he said decaying European countries had failed to control migration or take decisive action to end Ukraine's war with Russia, accusing them of letting Kyiv fight until they drop. European leaders have made attempts to carve out a role in the US-led efforts to end the war, which they fear will undercut the long-term interests of the continent in favor of a quick resolution. In response, the UK's Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper said all she saw in Europe was strength, citing investment in defense as well as funding for Kyiv. She added 2 presidents were working for peace, referring to Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. And one president, President Putin, has so far simply sought to escalate the conflict with further drone and missile attacks. Trump continued to increase pressure on Zelensky to agree to a peace deal and urged him to play ball by ceding territory to Moscow. Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. And yes, moving on, it's a proud day to be Australian. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says as a world-first ban on social media accounts for under-16s comes into effect in his country. So Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, Snapchat, Kik, Twitch, TikTok, Reddit and YouTube are among the platforms required to enforce the new legislation. Parents and children won't be punished for breaking the ban, but companies face fines of up to $49.5 million, and that is US dollars 32 million for the breaches. The government says the ban is aimed at protecting young people from harmful content, but critics suggest it could isolate vulnerable teenagers and push children into unregulated corners of the internet. This is a bold move that many other countries are watching carefully, but how the government will judge success is unclear, writes Australian correspondent. Australian teens have mixed views, with some insulted and others saying they will quickly get over it. And back to the continent of Africa, security was tightened across Tanzania yesterday, with police and military seen patrolling major cities ahead of the anticipated anti-government protests called to coincide with Independence Day. By sunset, however, no major demonstrations had taken place. Residents in Dar es Salaam, Arusha, Mbeya, Mwanza, and several other urban centers reported an unusually slow start of the day, with many people choosing to remain indoors amid uncertainty over whether protests would happen. The demonstrations were called to demand political reforms in the wake of October's post-election unrest, which left an unknown number of people dead. The authorities have admitted using force against protesters, claiming that some groups were attempting to overthrow the regime. Yesterday, BBC reporters observed nearly empty streets in the commercial capital Dar es Salaam. This was a stark contrast to the city's usual weekday bustle. Although quiet, the atmosphere remained tense. And in a statement, police spokesperson David Misimi assured the public of their safety and the protection of their property, saying the situation remained calm nationwide. He further urged citizens to dismiss old photos and video clips as circulating on social media that falsely suggest protests are taking place. Now, that was it from our global coverage.
Thank you very much, Joan, for that update. And someone, Opira Ronald, as by their ID, comes through from Somalia and says, "Hi, good morning." Good morning to you, Opira. Thank you so much for watching and following things that are going on back home. Now, looking at what we have in the world of the dailies, lots of interesting stories, I must say. Let's start off with the new vision, 250,000 more jobs at EC. Polling officers have 3 days to apply. Opportunities there for you to tap into. And candidate Museveni pledges more roads in Chenjojo. Now, businessman arrested over ritual killings. That's a story to look into. Buy yourself a copy of the New Vision and Toto magazine, a free copy inside there. Looking at matters, Mwalimu Waina Mayingo is leading in teenage pregnancy. Very sad at that. UEDCL probe must go on, Nankabirwa insists. Now, going on to the Daily Monitor, the headline there, brutality, security in eye of the storm. Matters accountability, the continued crackdown on the opposition politicians during campaign rallies has put security forces in sharp focus as a cocktail of uniformed and plainclothes operatives take center stage. In the picture there, S6 student jailed over TikTok on Museveni Mohozi. Anyways, this is a one Edson Semugenyi, 20 years old. And in the picture there, it was taken while he was at the Nakawa Chief Magistrate Court in Kampala yesterday. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison for spreading malicious information about President Museveni and Chief of Defense Forces General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. The sickness and fever for likes and clout has got him into jail at such a young age. Anyways, the lizard here says he's too young to appreciate the chief fighter. Now, looking at matters business, how good harvests have kept inflation in check. And boy 16 dies after beating at Nupgulu rally. Oh dear. What was he even doing there in the first place? My goodness. Mao wants NRM SFC to disown goons. And Chagulanyi says 450 supporters arrested. What to expect from health pact with Uganda US envoy? That is all of that in the Daily Monitor. Now let's fly to the rest of East Africa. And Kenya is holding the flag there. Daily Nation. Ruto ministers to lead 2027 poll campaigns. And contest court has declined to sanction CS's doubling in partisan poll campaigns. Also, Tanzania lockdown subdues Independence Day protests. And stylish maternity wear for the festive season to expectant mothers. Yeah, information to look into, and one that shouldn't allow you to miss out on the festive season. Now, MPs back an extra 5 billion shillings for teachers' promotions. And stories on abuse, state indicted over worsening human rights violations. That's another story to look into. And all of that is with the Daily, not Monitor, pardon me, but the Daily Nation. Bringing us to the end of what we have in the dailies today and the updates all together. It's Good Morning Uganda, and it's that time we get to celebrate more Christmas through music. Joy to the world. Of course, when we come back,
what is he trying to
please
do?
Continue. Joy to the world.
What was that?
For anybody, that song, when you talk about Christmas,
Right.
Joy to the World is a song everybody knows. And when you bring it out, joy to the world.
Please sing louder. The people are
Anyways,
I don't want to mess up people's
joy
mornings.
to the world. It's a reminder. It's a reminder that Jesus is the reason for the season. 25th will come and go. No one even knows if it's 25th anyways. But the fact is that he was
Don't kid
born.
our mood.
The fact is he was born. The date, no one is
knows.
sure.
Let's
It's
not go into
25th.
those
No one
details.
is sure. The
Leave
fact
us, it is
he was
So even
born.
the people who
It is
marked it
Christmas.
25th,
Anyways,
are not so
Don't open a can of worms.
Christmas is here to remind you that it's not about the food, it's not about the lights, it's not about the color, it's
So
not
Christmas
about
can
the
be any day.
it's not
But
about the
Julie.
excitement. It's about Jesus Christ.
Julie,
And that's
Julie,
it.
Julie,
Yes, please.
and to many watching us,
Yes, please.
I agree it's about Jesus being born.
Yes.
But Christmas to many people
It's
means
25th.
eating, drinking, to the kids getting gifts. If you went and asked them, you know, even mature people are saving.
You must send us
Go to the
Christmas
village.
allowance.
And-
by the way,
and
Robert,
Robert,
you guys need to
what the
send.
hell is this?
You need to
Robert,
send us
I mean, what are
Christmas
you talking
So,
about?
allowance. Christmas
ideally,
for
colleagues,
shopping.
let's not lose that. All of that is not denied, and it's very right. We are supposed to enjoy it. But let's also not get lost in the chaos and lose the meaning of why.
Unfortunately,
This
very
season-
few go for the meaning.
This season is
Most
here
of-
because
of
there's
the
life
people
after
go
death,
for
where
what
you
you want to
spend
term as
eternity.
chaos.
Anyways, joy to the world.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's the 10th of August, 2025, a day that Australia has enacted a world-first ban on social media for users aged under 16, causing millions of children and teenagers to lose access to their accounts. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, Kik, Twitch, and TikTok are expected to have taken steps from Wednesday to remove accounts held by users under 16 years of age in Australia and prevent these teens from registering new accounts. Now, this particular story is one that we did start with yesterday here on UBC TV, Good Morning Uganda, and a post was put up on our X handle, that is at UBC TV Uganda. A very interesting comment out of the many that came through, one that is seemingly from someone who's from Australia and was watching us and following from Australia. They put up a comment that reads, "This isn't to protect the children. That's just disguise. It's being facilitated as by MSM in our country. The real nefarious goal is absolute control of us, the people, through digital ID. We are the guinea pig testing ground country. Rest of the world watches closely." Now, this means that actually, whilst as a Ugandan you think, yay, this is good, and as a parent and being African, very strict on when it comes to our etiquette and culture, this sounds good, but it turns out that there's another perspective to this matter. Well, we're following up on the story and we'll be definitely informing you as it unravels from the different angles and perspectives, indeed, as the world is viewed. But welcome to the show. You are watching UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. Now, Burkinabe has an interesting story coming forth. 11 Nigerian military officers were briefly detained in Burkina Faso after their aircraft made an emergency landing in the country. Burkinabe security sources told the BBC. Now, the Air Force C-130 aircraft entered Burkina Faso's airspace on Monday without authorization, according to the country's territorial administration minister, Emile Zabo. In a joint statement, the military governments of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger said their prompt investigation confirmed the violation of its airspace and the sovereignty of its member states. But the Nigerian Air Force, NAF, said a technical problem meant the plane, which was en route to Portugal, had to land in accordance with safety procedures. Now let's come to Uganda. One of the updates that left the country shocked, of course, amidst campaign.
For only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MyNGN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a teen, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. This is UBC TV, and it's time for the real on Good Morning Uganda. The team is here to make sure that you are informed, but of course, as well as given a light start of the morning. Abaho Edward says, good morning, UBC TV. It's Abaho Edward from Lira. I wake up with a smile every morning because of you. I appreciate. Humbled. Okay. Humbled indeed, and thank you for giving us the flowers. It means a lot, you know, with the it means a lot with the hard work. Sometimes you do all of it.
Tears of joy. He can't believe. Oh, you said it's Edward, eh?
Yes, Abaho Edward. Thank you so much for watching the show.
Okay, get used to this.
All right, now let's bring ourselves back on focus, and a story we've just shared with you on a doctor, regarding Mulago Healthcare Center International, situated in Mulago Kawempe Division, is a quiet place where a patient can expect to go to get whatever is required as treatment and to save him or his or her life. And it's a health facility hidden somewhere in a corner, and it's where Dr. Henry Francis Kadaga and other doctors are operating an unlicensed health facility, including doing operations which they are not qualified for. Now, on Tuesday, the Health Monitoring Unit, Allied Health Management Council, Pharmacy Board from the Ministry of Health, together with police, in an operation conducted in Kawempe Division. This is where they found Dr. Henry Francis Kadaga, who was operating an unlicensed health facility. And of course, upon entering this facility, Dr. Kadaga was found doing an operation of appendix to a patient in a dirty theater. To the dismay of the health monitoring team was a freezer for medicine mixed with food and other saucepans inside the freezer. Now, talking about this might not exactly draw the image. I hope we're able to get that footage as it was earlier displayed. It's disheartening to look at a freezer with medicine, food, and all of that, and saucepans. Goodness. But anyways, Dr. Kadaga was operating this facility with Ajuna Andrew and Hassan Budogo, who managed to escape arrest by jumping over the facility fence. Although Dr. Kadaga was asked the reasons for operation of a health facility without a license, he found it hard to explain to the Health Monitoring Unit. And the public has been warned of unlicensed health facilities, especially during this festive season. So let's indeed throw more light and have this conversation actually on unlicensed health facilities and altogether unlicensed spaces, but focusing on health facilities. Footage there, that is Dr. Henry Kadaga, who was arrested And you can see, of course, some of the medicines. But I think my highlight there was footage of the freezer. It's goodness. It's very, very disheartening. But let me start with Robert. Robert, why do people go to unlicensed health centers?
Well, Julie, that's a very good question. And first, there are some words I find in this country, and I wonder how we use them. The word international.
Yeah, by the way, we are misusing this word.
I remember, Julie, you had teenagers on Friday, and they kept on.
And I do agree with them. I do agree with them, you know.
The word
Many times we use the word international.
You go to a school, you look at it.
This is international.
International, and you're like, oh no, I was going to use you go to a hospital, no, international.
Hospital.
Now, you've seen how that looks like. I don't know, is it URSB, whatever, where you have to register any other licenses. But we must also help some people when they are coming up with names of their, you know, it's like businesses. A hotel, a motel, what else?
There is a hotel, a lodge, a motel, and what?
You know this.
Yeah, no, because I did something in hospitality and tourism, so I know the difference.
Okay, but you find Mama Naka's hotel and you're like, Jesus, how is this a hotel? But going back to the focus, why people go to these unlicensed. First and foremost, we've not done enough sensitization.
Okay.
For people to be aware how they differentiate a licensed and one that is not licensed. Because some think it is the quality of the building that this must be that this must or will be licensed. We've not done that sensitization. To begin with, people don't know. 2, proximity to health facilities. Now I'm talking away from urban centers. Sometimes the health facility where someone can go to nearest to them, you look at it and it is the people they call in the villages Musawe, wa Musawo, Musawo. There is a shop, then there is a clinic, sometimes a drug shop. It does everything, but it's the nearest to them that they can go to. 3, cost. I want to tell you, most of these unlicensed health facilities, and some that are licensed, but now we're talking of why they got unlicensed. Because these people know they're not operating within the Robawora. Yes. Musawo can treat you when you have money, when you don't have money, when you pay half, you still get that treatment. You go to Musawo, your child is sick, and then how so the bill, if it is of 80,000, I'm trying to look through, and you have like a 40K, then Musawo will remind you. So Musawo becomes, it's very adjustable. Community friend. Yeah, they will go there. So Musawo, they will give a call, you know. So Musawos are flexible. And I know many of you, leave alone this class where you have insurance, you have a card, you know, when you fall sick. Many people, you know, treatment is very expensive. Healthcare is expensive. Healthcare is very expensive. So these people you look at as unlicensed in their communities, they are heroes to people. Yeah. Because a person will come, pay some amount of money, wait for the balance. Actually, on you know that local setting, you even find conversations of say Musawo A, Musawo B, Musawo A aonya, Musawo B mtamponya, Musawo. Yes. Now the other one would say, but why would people go to unlicensed? Yet there are even free government hospitals too. If you've gone to government health facilities, one, the queues that are there. Going to a hospital, a health facility, some of them, you're going to spend almost half a day or the entire day there, waiting, and you ask yourself, what is the problem? But also the challenge of getting treatment, that is the fridge, getting treatment. Wow. Look at that place. Now, getting treatment is also another problem. That you go to a government facility, there is no customer care. The medics there, the health experts there, are more or less like demigods in some of these facilities. You reach there, you know, they have ironed and they're just loitering around some. Then again, people end up spending. You're supposed to get free services, But then someone tells you, you want to see a doctor, do that, do that, do that, do that. And sometimes it is even more expensive. So the queues, the lack of customer care in government or public hospitals drives the people to go to these. Now, check that bed. You find a theater where an operation was being carried out. Now, you find that this person suffers, from a...
Is that the operating bed?
Now, I think you said it was they were carrying out an operation on the appendix. Now you get tetanus, you get so many infections
was
there.
That blood in the saucepan in the fridge?
I can't even tell. Now, these factors bring people. To summarize it, is one will say government facilities are there, but when you go to some of these government hospitals, these government facilities, there is no customer care. Second, you end up spending what you're not prepared for. Someone tells you, the doctor that may come and look at your patient, unless we put in some transport, unless we spend, so it becomes very complicated.
But Robert, you realize even these other private health facilities at times even charge more than the government facilities?
Well,
yes, but
for private, you know you're going to pay.
But
and of course you can't.
Expected.
Yes, there are hospitals you will never go to. Someone here, if you're told, if you're sick, how many of you, just using it as an example, not to say, how many of you will go to the likes of Korolo, Nakasero Hospital,
Are you asking
Kampala,
me, Julie, or the viewers?
The viewers. And also even, we are humble Ugandans. We cut a cloth we cut a coat according to our cloth.
In other words, in case you've fallen sick, in the immediate of that moment, where your mind goes, would you easily access, indeed Nakasero, would you easily access TMR? Would you easily access all of these hospitals that we are talking about in a snap of a finger for medical care as a Ugandan? It's really, really hard.
You end up going to international?
Yes, international. It's really, really hard. But we are looking at the matter of unlicensed healthcare centers, and a story there that keeps on playing on your screen is one of Dr. Kadaga, who was arrested, and you can see some of the apparatus that he uses, very rusty. You go there for an operation, you leave with tetanus. Generally, the operation table alone, goodness, 0709-602-592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage to be part of this conversation. Now, Joanne, let me come over to you. How are we supposed to know licensed and unlicensed?
Okay.
Do we walk into hospitals and start looking at their walls, or start asking them, show me your license before I give you my money?
Oh, by the physical appearance, this one looks old. I think he has enough experience.
And by the if you use by the looks, that facility in itself on the outside, it looks clean and well kept.
That glitters is now.
You get it not until you get on the inside. But generally, how are we supposed to know licensed and unlicensed?
Okay, Ministry of Health of Uganda has a list of the licensed health facilities. Citizens and viewers out there, before you go to a health facility, make sure you online things, you can get things, database, you can access database online.
Let's look at Mama Nachi.
Of course, all health facilities are required to display their licenses. So when you get there, please look out for the license first. Check it out. Is it valid? The problem is, how do they know that it is valid? But of course, you have to check with the Ministry of Health. There is a portal. I believe you can go and put in this health facility name, and they will display.
And I think that's what Robert talked about, the issue of sensitization. Because I'm actually looking at Mama Nachi, Grandma who, Jaja who on the village. All she knows is to walk into a hospital and receive treatment. She doesn't know.
And it's not only the ladies, Rasta so and so.
Rasta so and so, that's very true. Boda, that's very true. They won't walk into a facility to start looking out for that document on the wall, hang on the wall to see if it's expired or not, to ask them these hard questions, to even go onto the portal. They only know TikTok at most if they're using social in the internet.
That is why there should be mass sensitization of the citizens, so that they know once you get to the health facility, look out for the registration. They have signages. You can look at it and find, okay, is this the number? Is it really authentic? or it is an illegal one. So you can check it out. In the villages where I'm told, I'm not so certain that the village health teams were removed. I'm yet to confirm that. But these people can help out, because even those people in the villages, they used to be placed, the VHTs, they used to be placed there to help out these people. And these people were licensed by the Ministry of Health. And also, you can look out for updates. People, you should listen to, especially traditional media, like the radios, the televisions. Ministry of Health always puts out announcements, and they also put out guidelines on how to know what is an authentic health facility and what is not. And also the Allied Health Professionals Council, it regulates all these facilities. If we can now speak about being in the era of knowing things on our fingertips. Julie, I don't believe that in the entire family there is absence of one person who can be exposed to such information.
It's also possible, by the way.
Really? Oh, okay.
In the underserved areas of Uganda, rural underserved areas, you could find a whole family very inexposed.
But even if you don't know, when you get to the facility, ask for their registration number. Because if you get into the facility, they'll be like, oh, this person knows what they are asking for. Though if it is a fraudulent one, they'll kind of shy around and they, okay, let's come. Of course, you'll have to know. So I think for the villages, for the rural areas, we really need to sensitize them.
The good thing is the law requires them to display it where it is visible. The law, when you get that license, it requires you to
the certificate, actually, the Ministry of Health certificate.
Yes, you're supposed to display it. Not hide it anywhere, so that anyone who enters that facility can see it there and then.
Now it's up to Ugandans to be able to read it. Because many of us walk in, we see license, but we do not take time to read the detail, if it's expired or still ongoing.
And also, after verifying the facility, how about the individuals, the medical personnel that are going to work on you? Are they licensed? You know, you find anyone having a gown or a lab coat having Dr. Robert, I'm just giving an example, no offense, Dr. Robert, but when they actually are not qualified. So the facility can be licensed and certified, but what about the personnel?
By the time they employ a personnel that's not licensed, what are they up to? It gives me questions about the facility itself. Anyways, comments coming through. Good morning. I'm concerned about the risks of unlicensed health facilities in Uganda. Let's prioritize our health and safety by supporting licensed facilities. Operating unlicensed health facilities in Uganda can have severe negative effects such as poor quality medical care leading to misdiagnosis, mistreatment, and even death. Increased risk of infections and spread of diseases due to inadequate sanitation and equipment, lack of accountability and regulation, making it difficult to track and address malpractice, undermining the efforts of legitimate healthcare providers and compromising public health. This is Humphrey from Munyonyo. Thank you, Humphrey, for being on the show. We are looking at the situation of unlicensed health facilities in Uganda, and we've just looked at why people actually go there. John has just showed us a few things we can do as Ugandans to know what is licensed and what is unlicensed. And I now wonder what the side of the government can do to help the situation. I think that's where sensitization, mass sensitization comes into play. Robert, how often do regulatory bodies actually carry out these kind of operations or act out, as we've seen, or it's a once in a while where the case is extreme that they should come into play?
I want to say they have done little.
Really?
I remember when Dr. Diana Atwine was the head of the State House Health Monitoring Unit. She's now the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Health. I was a field person by then. But almost every week, this unit would be nabbing. Almost every week they were in the field carrying out operations as the State House Health Monitoring Unit. Now, good, they're also part of this operation, but they have taken so long. They are no longer that very, very, very active like they were last time. I don't know if it is a funding gap or anything, or now that Dr. Diana is the PS, there's maybe some kind of relaxing and all that. But they need to be more active, because believe you me, more unlicensed clinics are operating in this country.
Yep.
Almost every narrow path you take, There's like a clinic there. You leave these high-end places.
There is a clinic, there is a drug shop,
There's a clinic, there's a drug shop,
there is a pharmacy.
There's a drug shop clinic, there's a pharmacy clinic, there's a hospital drug shop, you know.
Hospital drug shop.
There is everything. If you move in the outskirts of this city, you know those narrow paths?
Yeah, yeah.
Follow them. You won't fail to find at the end of it or along through, there is a clinic. Now, the people in these clinics, one, are not competent enough. Two, you may find that these, even if they're not competent, what you're going to find there is that even these facilities are not licensed, yet they carry out so much. I want to give you one of the challenges we have in Uganda here. Now, in Uganda, abortion is illegal unless where
Court.
the mother is in danger. It is only legal when it is for health emergencies, that they either have to save them, they have to save the mother, so they have to terminate the pregnancy. But in my time as a reporter, I covered so many stories because my beat was crime regarding illegal abortions, and most of these were being done in clinics, and guess what? Unlicensed clinics. Because a person who has a license knows that this can cause closure, it can affect my practicing license, it can do all this. So, yet abortion is a silent killer of very many young girls in this country. The only thing is when a young girl dies of an abortion, lips are tight. People don't want to say, yafuda jamurubuto. So we try to, you know, she went when she's not feeling fine, you know, so, but this is a silent killer. Girls are dying every day when aborting. Now, these are done in these clinics, unlicensed. So there is so little that the enforcement is doing. That is why they are mushrooming. You know, certain things set precedency. For example, this doctor.
Right.
There is a case in court, we can't dive into that. But he's the same person, now in another, operating another, after something. So, why they are mushrooming and why they are on an increase is because the enforcer has either not been empowered or there is conflict of interest, because many things in this country thrive because of conflict of interest. That may be if you push so much, this is a person, and even government drugs that are being stolen. Many are being given out. That's why I told you Musawo can even give you drugs on a loan. Can give you treatment on a loan because where the genuine, the licensed go and buy, then they have to remit taxes, they have to do this. Musawo somehow gets them.
But Robert, before we really crucify the State House Health Monitoring Committee, that they've done little, let's look at their funding. Have they really been empowered to carry out these activities?
That's what I said, that maybe it is a funding down.
Because we've seen in curbing drug theft, at least they've been a bit visible, and they've been really doing it in so many places.
But also, still, even, yes, funding is a very justifiable
challenging,
and it's a challenge indeed. But at the during the time Dr. Atwini was in office, what was she doing different?
What was she doing different? And second,
so
let's be very honest. Do you need a budget? You know the problem we have in this country, in some of this government, even where you don't need a budget, we put a budget. For example, these people have vehicles, and big vehicles, not VTs or what. Police is readily available. These people are paid salaries. How hard is it for you to say today, we are taking March in the lane? Right. Tomorrow, we are taking Wachiso lane. The other day, we are taking here. The other day. You know, some of these things don't require extra budget, but for everything that happens in government bodies, and you have to write a budget. Let's come up with a budget.
All right,
but then you drive to your homes, you drive here, you drive there, you drive there.
Can't you cut some of those costs?
Yes,
for the
and
sake of
prioritize
because
this.
Ideally, you're there to serve Uganda, not
because
yourselves.
Mothers are dying in the hands of these people. Now, an operation being performed in such a place, you're going to get an infection, you may get tetanus, even they say they're not qualified for that.
Or you might even get HIV from
But
that.
what are
Anyways,
sister bodies doing, like national medical stores?
now let's look at some of the comments coming through indeed, John. Good morning. I think I read that already. The other that comes through. Good morning, Uganda. Thank you for the show. It's so absurd. We have so many medical facilities in Uganda that are operating without medical licenses. We have medical personnel who train their children hands-on, and yet they have not been to medical school. You find them treating patients. Then we have the essence of so many drug shops and clinics that are coming up every day. But what have the regulatory bodies done? This leaves a question for the Ministry of Health. So many loopholes. And someone else comes through, says, hi, still typing. Hi, good morning. UBC operating an unlicensed health facility is due to high operational costs, standards, and corruption along the registering it through different bodies. I think this is quite profound for one of the causes of having unlicensed, them existing in the first place. Good morning, Julie, John, and Uncle Bob. Matters to deal with people's lives are very sensitive and needs to be dealt with in a very professional way. But it's funny if people begin gambling at the expense of people's lives. In a first place, how can an unlicensed person or health facility operate if we really have serious ministries that regulate health? It speaks volumes for either corruption or laziness of the Ministry of Health. And finally, good morning, Uganda. The biggest problem is the government health regulations and executions. You find over 10 health facilities sharing one license of one doctor and being operated by unqualified personnel. This is Edson in Entebbe. Robert, now time is fast spent, and I'd like for Robert to speak into matters excellence, ethics, and integrity for professionals. Someone here said that along the lines of registering these businesses, corruption, the bureaucracy, and all of that, it's one of the causes to have unlicensed health facilities stand.
Now, one of the challenges we have is there are professionals that require you to go into them with passion to serve.
True.
Remember when we were still in school, we were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember I had two desires, a pilot and a journalist. By the grace of God, at least I got my second option. Many would say engineer, doctor. I think the other was lawyer.
We are about to call ourselves carpenter.
Nah, no one desired to be. Now, and if you ask these young children, why do you want to be a doctor? Because they are rich.
The perception.
The perception. Why do you want to be a lawyer? Because they are rich.
Right.
Now, many people in the medical profession are not there because it is their passion. They're in this profession because they believe it is one of the paying professions. Now, ethics are therefore compromised 100%. Because someone never went there with passion to treat. Someone went there to make money. And there, the two don't intertwine. They're like poles, they just repel each other. So, ethics and integrity, just imagine, if you are a doctor, it is simple knowledge and sense that with your knowledge, you cannot operate such a dirty facility.
Right.
If you are a doctor, it is simple knowledge that you will know that in this facility I can't carry out this. Let me show you another fraud and scam these doctors, these unlicensed, even licensed are doing. You pass via a medical facility, they have ENT, is it?
ENT.
ENT specialist. Pediatric. They are all they are mentioning services that actually they don't have. Now when you go there, they will tell you our gyna comes here on Thursday.
Yeah.
But pay booking. Okay. Do this. You get there, you wait for hours. He's running to another hospital. But they'll put services that they don't have. Extract money from you. When you've lost your patience, then you will go to another facility. Now, the medical profession has lost ethics.
Things to indeed
it is they are forwarding, a number of them are forwarding money.
Right.
And this is why this can no longer, That's why anyone can even operate something that is not licensed. That's why you find that the medical bills are becoming very high. Remember the time of COVID, even government felt like coming up and institute a committee.
Right, indeed. Now, time is really such an enemy. I do apologize, John. I totally do apologize. And I know we'll have a conversation on this another time. But for now, of course, we have to make way for JMU Tourism Express and Business. So we'll be coming up with John. For now, please stay tuned because there's a lot more in store for you. This brings us to the end of this particular conversation. I think let me end it with a comment of, actually they're just still typing. Unfortunately, we don't have time, but you say good morning to you all. Good morning. Thank you for watching. Yes.
Good morning.
Indeed.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
I welcome you to the Kabaka's Lake. My name is Elvis Sechibule, a guide working under Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board. The place where we are currently, we are at the largest man-made lake we have in the east and the central of Africa. Now, this lake has a very unique significance to the kingdom of Buganda and the country Uganda at large. In Buganda, whenever the kings came on the throne, the king had the main role of establishing for himself a palace. And this palace could be the capital for that very king or during his reign. The kings never liked their palaces to be far away from water bodies, especially Lake Victoria. And these water bodies would enhance trade. In case of any attack, the king would use this water body as an escape route. So Kabaka Mwanga established his palace at Mengo Hill in 1885, just up there. It's a very short distance from the lake here to the king's palace, Mwanga. That's why he established his palace. Then the official digging of this lake began in 1886. Kabaka Mwanga gave this work to a rich gentleman known as Musoke. Musoke spearheaded the digging, the initial digging of this lake. This lake was dug manually using hands. They could use tools, the local tools like hoes, spades, baskets, which could help them to cut out mud and dump it up there. Actually, most of the county chiefs in the kingdom, they were in charge of overseeing and looking after this work which was being done here. People could wake up early morning at exactly 6 a.m. and they could leave work at exactly 6 p.m. late in the evening. County chiefs, they could come here and inspect the rolls, and Musoke was the chief who could instruct the digging. Later, Musoke failed, and the work was taken to Kagwandi Mukulaga. That was his name. Kagwandi Mukulaga did the second stage of the digging of this lake, and later Wakome Chiengera finalized this work. The intention of this lake was to reach Lake Victoria along the river which crosses to Chibuye, then Narukolongo. The king had a palace in Munyonyo, that side. In his Munyonyo palace, that's why he could carry the goods from Munyonyo to the palace, or from the palace of Mengo, then to Munyonyo. So this lake is sitting in between two hills. We have the hill of Mengo and the hill of Rubaga. And actually it has two roads which cross it. We have Nabunya Road and then Mengo Ring Road. Before this lake was established, this was a swamp which was commonly known as Nsike. Nsike was the swamp where the Baganda people could do their athletics, especially wrestling and entertainment of the king. During the reign of Kabaka Daudi Chwa, on the island which is in the middle of the lake, which you can see, it has a name. It is called Nambi, Nantutululu. That's why he could sit and entertain him with boat racing and again arm wrestling in the mud here. This lake has a lot of importances today. It's a tourist attraction in the middle of Kampala, and it houses a number of bird species. We have great cormorants, we have the Hadada ibis here, we have the open-billed stork, we have the cattle egrets, and many, many others. So visitors who are passionate about birding, Kabaka's Lake in Kampala is also a priority. More on this, to be more specific, this lake houses a number of fish species. In the future plans of the kingdom, for those who will be passionate about sport fishing, this will be a very, very good place. It has generated a number of employment opportunities to people living around it. The youths who wash vehicles around here. It has enhanced also building activities. The hotel where we are currently, Popo, St. Lawrence University, and other infrastructure around, whereby they drain water from this very, very lake. It is called the Kabaka's Lake. Kabaka literally means the king. That's the title given to the king of Buganda, Inyanja ya Kabaka. Today there is a plan of developing of this area, and the chairperson of this project was Freeman Chiimba. That was the role given to him. The last mapping showed that this lake is sitting on 57 acres of land, and the current depth is 5 feet deep in the ground. It's considered to be the largest man-made lake we have in the eastern center of Africa, and we expect that the developments which will be done on it will generate more employment opportunities, and it will be crucial to the people who are living around it. I thank you very much. My name is Elvis Sechibule, a guide with the Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board.
brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Indeed, that was Tourism Express giving you an insight of the Kabaka's Lake, which is man-made. And Tourism Express is heartedly sponsored by Uganda Tourism Board. It is now time for our economic press, and beginning off with our special economic zones coverage. The Uganda Free Zones and Export Promotions Authority convened a critical training session on environmental management standards for free zone developers and operators, spotlighting regulatory hurdles that slow investment in Uganda's special economic zones. Let's take a look.
Stakeholders raised concerns over ambiguous and exorbitant costs for environmental impact assessments conducted by NEMA-certified consultants, delaying free zone operations and deterring both local and foreign investors.
The application is there, but you cannot see the status, where it is, because like for the electoral permit, we've been told it is on the ED's desk for like 3 months now, and you can't, from the system, you can't see where it is.
NEMA's online environmental impact assessment portal, operational for 2 years now, allows real-time tracking of applications with automated audits, slashing average approval times to 3 months, despite project variations preventing standardized fees.
So the list of those certified practitioners is there, but NEMA does not determine how much they charge. It's like when you go to contract an engineer for your site or a lawyer to handle a case for you, they will charge you independently. However, NEMA is in talks with the consultants because it has become a growing concern indeed. So many project developers have raised the concern that EIA is very expensive, but it's very expensive because it's a capital. It is a free market, so everyone will charge you. You may have 5 different consultants that you're trying to assess from or to verify from, and they're going to give you different prices.
Free zone farms were urged to hire in-house environmental experts and treat environmental impact assessment reports as living documents, including land and waste management policies.
How are you handling waste? How are you handling the waste management, the disposal? What are some of the issues or the experiences that you would want to bring on board so that you share with others that may be new in the business?
Both sides agreed that amending the NEMA Act is essential to revise high fees, streamlining processes, and enable smoother government free zone arrangements. Uganda Free Zones and Exports Promotions Authority is developing an ESG framework to standardize procedures, while older projects predating the 1995 NEMA Act must backtrack for certificates via ownership proof and studies before gaining operational approval. Wadulo Arnold Mark in Kampala.
And in regards to trade as an engine of growth, Sweden has launched the Trade for Jobs Uganda project to boost trade-driven growth and expand decent jobs for Ugandans. Here's the report.
Running from 2025 to 2030, the initiative targets the dairy and tourism sectors to improve competitiveness and attract private investment.
For many years, Uganda has been involved in trade, but to what extent is this creating decent jobs? And so we'll be measuring, the number of jobs that are being created, the quality of the jobs that are being created, and specifically the vulnerable people. We are looking at women and the young people and people with disability, and also people in the informal economy. So this is those are some of the indicators that we'll be looking.
Aims to support Uganda's efforts to tackle unemployment, promote inclusive trade and expand opportunities for vulnerable groups.
SETA are running over 10 programs in Uganda, in coffee, in IT, BPO services, as well as many other industries. But for this particular project, we are working very closely with ILO to create decent jobs for the young people and the marginalized communities, especially in decent work. We are, for the tourism side, we're looking at 3 intervention areas. One is skilling. We believe that there is need for demand-driven skilling for the sector. We're going to work with partners such as Uganda Hotel Owners Association, UTB, as well as the Institute of Training that's in Jinja.
The project aligns with Uganda's 10-fold growth strategy and reinforces the long-standing Sweden-Uganda development partnership.
But we also know that there are some challenges. We talked here today about skilling, which will be addressed by this program. Of course, tourists come with expectation, and we need skilled people to work on that. We need also, of course, more better marketing of Uganda. There is, of course, infrastructure issues, and then I think it's also, but there is a huge potential. There is the nature, the scenery of Uganda, but there is also the cultural sector. We were talking here about the Nyege Festival, bringing a lot of people.
And from our fintech news, Diamond Trust Bank and Furaha Fin Service Uganda have launched a digital financing tool that gives parents instant affordable access to school fees paid directly to schools. The DTB and Furaha school fees loan will remove financial barriers that keep children out of class. The bank will roll out financial literacy sessions to guide parents plan alongside investment opportunities that give families a stronger financial footing. Let's take a look at the report.
That in all this, as we are educating Ugandans to become trained medical practitioners, to become the professions that are running a lot of entities in Uganda, we noted that there is an area somewhere that requires our intervention. And that area was really to keep our Ugandans in school at all levels. We've noted that there is that need for all Ugandans to educate our fellow Ugandans and ensure that they can add value to the economic development of our nation. But keeping them into learning institutions was a very big challenge.
We are a technology company that has come together to try and address these issues that we face around people having access to finance for specific and deliberate purposes. So, and DTB is our main partner in terms of getting to parents who need financing for education. So we provide a product that allows parents to pay the school fees for their kids directly to the school. This is a product that does not provide cash to the parent. This money goes directly to the school, and they are given a school term to repay it back over a period of 3 months.
Furaha, who is our partner, now has capacity to, first of all, integrate with the school to understand what is the actual outstanding balance. It could be the entire school fees bill, or half of it, or 3/4. Once we receive that information, Furaha takes the parent through a scoring process to assess his debt serviceability. Once all those hurdles are jumped, then it initiates a command to us to finance that transaction.
And from construction business news, Uganda's construction industry is ramping up efforts to support the government's Vision 2040 ambition of achieving a $500 billion economy, with the Uganda National Association of Builders, Suppliers and Engineering Contractors launching the Uganda Construction Excellence Awards 2025 to benchmark top performers and drive key national development. Let's have a look at the launch.
The Uganda National Association of Builders, Suppliers and Engineering Contractors says that the award will recognize innovation, quality delivery, financing, inclusion and safety standards in the industry.
In this point in the construction sector in Uganda, every construction sector player right now who is a service provider to government deserves recognition, deserves to be celebrated, because we know the problems that contractors have gone through in the past couple of years with lots of delayed payments from government.
For the next financial year, 6.92 trillion shillings has been earmarked by government for integrated transport and infrastructure services, including roads, bridges, railways, water transport and air transport. The sector must brace for unprecedented demand, skill shortages and supply chain pressures to deliver on time within the budget.
I've already spoken on many platforms that the ATMs cannot operate in a vacuum, because you cannot have tourism or agriculture at a grand scheme, or even have manufacturing without infrastructure. Wherever you want tourists to go, there must be a road taking them there. Wherever they need to stay, there must be a contractor on ground to build.
Chronic delays in payments to contractors have been cited for fostering corruption. Import dependency for materials is also driving up costs.
You see, like the cement has increased. The price of the fuel has increased. And yet, our price on the BOQ remains the same. We cannot go back to the client and say that, please, sir, this one is now going on. We cannot go and then plead to them, please increase our price. No, we cannot do that. I think that's also one of the factors that really affected for the past 2 to 3 years.
Stakeholders warn that without urgent reforms such as faster government disbursements, tax incentives for local manufacturing, the industry risks stalling mega projects essential for Vision 2040.
This is where when we go ahead to appreciate our clients, where we appreciate the country and the government for these opportunities, and now in this moment we appreciate the NAPSEC, which as a colleague already mentioned, has been the unifying body for all construction companies, all contractors across the country.
This awards launch signals industry resolve to self-regulate, celebrate excellence and lobby for policy fixes, positioning construction as the backbone for Uganda's infrastructure-led growth. Wadulo Arnold Mark in Kampala.
And from our jobs report, Junior Achievement Uganda yesterday awarded seed funding to outstanding youth-led companies under the third-year social equity program, an initiative supporting marginalized young people across the country. The program, supported by Junior Achievement Africa and the Z Zurich Foundation, has so far reached over 46,000 youth across Uganda. Let's take a look.
They come up with these programs, and then we again go ahead with 8 weeks of mentorship and coaching, be able to get them in touch with the volunteers from the different institutions, some alumni who are here.
Junior Achievement Uganda showcased the impact of its social equity program, now in empowering young people with entrepreneurship and business development skills.
What we would like to achieve with not just the social equity project, but all the other programs that Junior Achievement sees, is to empower more youth. It's actually a strategic priority, not just for JA Uganda, but JA Africa and JA worldwide, that we empower more youth, reach more underserved youth, reach more areas where the youth are, and continue to impact as many youth as possible.
The Managing Director, Aloisha Organics, Don Patrick Bujingo, encouraged young entrepreneurs for being innovative and creating employment.
Young people
you're looking at the biggest percentage of the country, of the population in the country, and where does it go in the future? It's towards probably an opportunity or a challenge. The advantage is if it can be seen as an opportunity where young people can contribute to the betterment of their country. And how is for them to lead the private sector, be able to create more jobs, so that we don't instead have them as a problem of a huge burden of young people looking for jobs.
Representing the National Social Security Fund, a senior manager of organization development, Abdul Makuya, urged this year's winners to stay competitive.
Reasonable man adopts to the world. What do I mean? There is traffic jam. Yes, there is traffic jam, but it's not an excuse for you to turn up late every time. Because you've known that in Kampala there is traffic jam. So the way the quote goes is that the unreasonable man makes the world adopt to him. Because there is traffic jam, then get mechanisms to make sure that traffic jam is never an issue.
You are here and maybe you have gone through the program or you have not, but you have a business, we have the acceleration program and the Identify Innovator.
AgriCool won the grand prize of $3,500. It provides solutions for farmers and traders dealing in highly perishable produce.
So my call out youth is to come and be more engaging and be more concerned about the environment and basically take charge of their future.
The Social Equity Program empowers marginalized youth with skills and resources needed to build sustainable enterprises to end youth unemployment in Uganda.
And of course, as we wrap up, let's have a look at the rates of Forex as they stood on 9th December 2025 by Bank of Uganda, kicking off with the US dollar at the bold 3,525.27 and sold at 3,535.27. By midday, the dollar was at 3,520.41, and that was the buying rate, and sold at 3,530.41. And by close of day, the dollar bought 3,534.68 and sold at 3,544.68, while the Great British Pound bought at 4,712.78 and sold at 4,726.12. The euro bought at 4,117.54 and sold at 4,129.15. From the neighbors, the Kenyan shilling bought at the rate of 27.34 and sold at the rate of 27.42, while the Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.44 and sold at 1.44 still. And the South African rand bought at 207.46 and sold at 208.05. And now for all the business owners, they are all investors. If anything, if there is anything that will not sell, please do not invest it because its sale is proof of utility and utility is success. Now this was said by Thomas Edison. Coming up is the agenda with Julie. My name is Joanne N. Moronji. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chibaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product, but at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1 acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvesters in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda. Live from UBC studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. Welcome back from JMU Business and Tourism Express. It's time for the agenda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. Now, it's the road to the 2026 general elections, and the Electoral Commission faces questions over offline use of the biometric voter kits and physical result transmission at that. But away from that in particular, of course, answers will be given as by the Electoral Commission. Biometric voter verification is a newly acquired system into the process of Uganda's election process. And Mr. Paul Bukenya from the Electoral Commission, Deputy Spokesperson, is here to have that conversation with us to sensitize us on what this means exactly. And of course, he's with Mr. Mugweri Geoffrey, who is a PRO, the PRO of 3N Consultants, also here to sensitize us on the biometric voter verification system. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of the conversation. Now, these two gentlemen are now becoming co-hosts to the show in one way or the other. Good morning, Mr. Mugweri.
Good morning, Julie and the viewers. It's a pleasure being here and talking about elections and emphasizing peaceful elections.
True story. That's very, very true and important. At that, good morning, Mr. Paul Bukenya.
Good morning, Julie and our dear viewers. Always a pleasure being here.
Indeed.
Yes,
always a pleasure having you on board
sure.
to sensitize Ugandans and, of course, answer the questions that are on lips and minds of many. And I'll start with Mr. Bukenya. What exactly is the biometric voter verification system?
Yeah, the biometric voter verification system is a system that uses your biometrics,
right,
your physical features to identify you uniquely as a voter. So when you talk about biometrics, we are talking about your features were captured when you are being registered. Your fingerprints were captured. Your photo, so the eyes, the features were captured well and put into a system. And now all those features are loaded onto a kit that we will use to authenticate your identity, to confirm that indeed the person who has presented themselves is indeed Bukenya Paul, and they've presented themselves at a polling station where they are registered to vote. So this is a system that recognizes you by your facial, your fingerprints. It's a fingerprint and facial technology system that we are using to match. We use it to match with your details on the voters register. So when you present yourself at a polling station and we request you to press your thumb, the machine is able to bring out your particulars and confirm, yeah, this is indeed the person. Just like we are coming in, and one of the staff of UBC needed to log into the system using their features which are already into the security system. And then we got access here. So at the polling station, then we are able to say, yeah, these particulars correspond with what is on the register. And then you are issued with the voters, with a ballot paper. Then you can go on and vote. So the biometric voter verification system is exactly that. We've used it in 2016. That's when we first used it. And used it in 2021. And now it has been upgraded, as we'll see in the conversation that we are going to have.
Right, indeed. Looking forward to that upgrade. But let me come over to you, Mr. Mugweri Geoffrey. When we talk about 3N Consultants, it's a consultancy firm that has been here on the show to indeed sensitize Ugandans on everything voter sensitization as we journey on to the election season next month. What role is 3N Consultancy playing in the introduction and update of this system?
Thank you so much, Julie. Like Paul said, this is not a new system. I think the public needs to know that it is not coming to be applied for the first time. Probably it has just been upgraded. But like I've always said here before, 3N Consultants Limited, for us, we simply amplify the voice of the Electoral Commission. We were accredited to partner with them in the process of voter education and sensitization.
Right.
So at this stage where we are now, like you said, the concern is about the system. the BVC system, which is going to be applied. It's good Paul is here and he will explain the details. But our role is basically to amplify their voice as Electoral Commission. Yeah.
Thank you very much. If you're just joining in, 0709-602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of this conversation as we look at the biometric voter verification system, the BVVS system, that is handled by the Electoral Commission to guide in voter verification during the election process as we cast our votes come next month. And a lot of conversation about it. Some of the candidates are even against it, like candidate Munyagwa. He's totally against it. But of course, ours here is to learn and relearn, because at the end of the day, we must exercise our right to vote, cast our ballots as to which candidate we want to represent us in Parliament and, of course, the major office of Uganda as the President of Uganda. Mr. Paul Bukenya from the Electoral Commission is here with us to speak about it, and Mr. Mugweri Geoffrey from 3N Consultants is also here to speak into this particular matter. Now, Mr. Paul Bukenya, let's look at the downside. Currently, the conversation around the BVVS is it's being criticized for limiting the system to offline use. Why has it been limited to that?
No, I think that should not be the worry of anyone. That when we use the biometric voter verification system, and I need to explain it, and what we do, we load the data onto the kit, the biometric voter kit, and we dispatch them. We have procured 100,000 and we procured 100,000 9,142 kits that are going to be deployed across the country. We have 50,739 polling stations. Each station is going to have 2 kits. Now, what happens and how this system works is that we load the data of the register. Let me use a sample of a district. Kampala district register is loaded onto the kit, and it is brought to each and every one of the polling stations that we have in Kampala. The system works offline. That one has been explained to our stakeholders. It doesn't need to be on the internet. Just like you enter your password and you access your phone.
Without being online.
Without being anywhere where you are, you can access your phone, and then you can say, I'm looking for the contact of Julie Nantava. You don't need to be online to do that.
True.
To get the number, get me the contact of Geoffrey Mugweri. I don't need to be online. I just need to get a phone from wherever I am, and I look through the contact list.
Right. And
I can enter my fingerprint and open and access. So I think Ugandans don't need to read too much into it that the system is offline and then there's a problem. No. The unit has come to your station, and that's the beauty with it. It has enough power to run it, and it is already loaded with all the information for that district, and especially assigned now to your polling station. So the unit is able to perform the functions of identifying you uniquely. When you log in your particular, you place your stamp print, we're able to identify that indeed this is Paul Bukenya. Now, I don't need internet for that.
Yes.
So I think we should not have any worries about the unit being offline, and that's how it is designed to be. That's how it is designed to be. Other things that need to be online are online. But when you're deploying a unit like this, it is supporting identification. This is my physical register. This is the unit. So you come in, we look through the unit, you press your thumb, and it reads your features that, yes, this is it. The person has presented themselves. If they are the right persons, you tick them onto the register, and you ease them with a ballot paper. Do I need internet for that? No. I would need internet for something else, but this unit does not require that. It is designed to work like that. It can be accessed. It can be, it has the register. It is self-contained.
Right.
It has enough power, and it can perform its functions. It is by design that it is offline. And there should be no worry about that, because the entire district, it is not a national, it's not designed to, reference me back to Kampala database. It is, we are in Kamoli, I'm at a polling station in Kamoli.
Right.
All I need is this unit loaded with all the data for Kamoli, so that if someone comes in and they're a voter in Kamoli, I can identify them at this particular polling station, or even refer them that you do not belong here, you belong to another polling station.
Or it displays that information as well.
Because you do not, if you don't belong here, it says voter is not registered here.
Okay.
And then we can advise you that no, you do not registered here.
Right.
You are in Kamoli, but of course you are not registered here.
Right.
Yeah. So that should not be a worry. It's by design, and some of the technologies we use even in everyday life are designed like that, and they can work like that.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Now, indeed, when you share that detail, it helps a lot, because information within the public is otherwise. You know, it's offline because there's something going on. If it's offline because there's something that the EC doesn't want us to know. So I think this is very important that we're having this conversation, because at the end of the day, a Ugandan gets to know the facts as they should be, so that they vote with those facts at the back of their minds, and I do appreciate you for that. Now, Mr. Mugweri, what strategy is 3N Consultants applying in supporting the implementation of the BVVS to all across Uganda?
Thank you so much, Julie. Like I've always told you here before, the 3N Consultants Limited was created by the Electoral Commission to conduct voter education and sensitization.
Right.
Now, what we are doing, we are applying so many methods of reaching out to the voters. Like we have been here on the various shows, and we have taught the public on how to conduct themselves during the voting process, during this campaign process. We have our teams in the 3 sub-regions where we are mandated to conduct this exercise. That is Bunyoro, Uganda, and the Teso sub-regions. We are engaging the public through various means, and we are disseminating this information. At this stage, we hadn't yet reached to talk about this system. We are going chronologically, systematically.
Yes.
Now we are at the stage where we are collaborating with the Electoral Commission to get the exact information so that we pass over these people. But before that, I think we need to appreciate one thing. First of all, what is the perception? The perception and attitudes. I think we need to encourage. The intention of these systems is good. It is in the interest of the Electoral Commission that the elections are conducted very well. And I think this system will help people to vote, not vote more than once. Because once you're identified in the system, your features have been captured. There have been outcries that at times people who are not voting, who are not there specifically, other people have voted in their spaces. I don't think it will be now possible if we are using the system. Maybe Paul will explain. But according to the system, I don't think you can. So we are going now to have a few complaints about rigging, about double voting. So as we continue engaging with the public, I think they will need to appreciate that this system is well intended. And that is the work we are doing. Yeah.
Indeed. Now, you've educated us on the fact that we need our national IDs at the time we go to vote. Now, 2 things. What happens in case one does not have their national ID? And the other thing, now with the BVV system, I don't know if Mr. Mokenya can speak into this, but just in case you have a perspective, please share it. In case someone's fingerprints are fading and the system is unable to read them, what happens in that moment? What's the solution?
I think we have been very clear about the issue of the national IDs. Paul will amplify this. Having a national ID alone does not qualify you to go and vote. First of all, you must be appearing in the national register, voters register, isn't it?
Yeah.
You cannot simply come with a national ID if you didn't register as a voter.
All right.
So I think these various mechanisms are going to help one to vote. But what is important is to identify that person on the voters register. And that person will be in position to vote. Yes.
All right. Over to you, Mr. Bukenya. One, let's talk about the fingerprint issue. In case someone's prints have faded, what solution therein can be availed to help this person be verified?
Yeah, we've talked about enhanced features of the biometric voter verification, and I think that's what now we need to know what has been enhanced.
Right.
I think what we will find different from your last experience with the biometric voter verification kit is that now it can also, the capability to scan your face has been, included. Because for some reason or the other, someone's threads may be worn out or may be even unreadable.
Right, true.
And of course now we are telling people when you're coming to vote, wash your hands very well.
Yes.
And don't put in a lot of Vaseline and all that.
Yes.
Because they can complicate the system. But if for one reason or the other, even because of a disability, we are not able to capture the fingerprints, then the unit has a scanner, and then we can scan your face.
Right.
And you remember when you were being registered as a voter, we took, as a citizen, to apply go through the identification and all that. We captured all your features, all the fingerprints, if you have all the fingers, and then we took a photo. Okay. And during the registration, the teams were very specific on how the photos should be taken. And so the photo is in the system, and when your face is scanned, your features will still come up on the screen, and they will confirm that, yeah, indeed, this is Paul Bukenya. So if I'm not able to identify you using your fingerprints, then the facial technology, the facial recognition system will come into play. So either way, you will be identified, and we are ensuring that no one proceeds without being biometrically identified. That's why the message has come up that in this election, we are making it a point that everyone is identified biometrically using either the fingerprints or the facial features or any other, in case if there is a disability or anything else that makes it hard, we will still go through the procedures as we are training our teams to make sure that we are able to identify whoever has come to the polling station. And we'll be able to say that the person who has presented themselves, they are actually at the right polling stations and they are registered voters and they have received the ballot papers and they will proceed to vote. But you also mentioned something, and I could maybe amplify on national ID. Your national ID is very, very important.
Right.
And if you have it, please, we need it, because the system reads your barcode even much, much faster. So where I would have taken time looking through or applying these other things, just a swipe of that barcode on the system will make work very, very easy. And please have your ID with you. But we also know that for some reason or the other, maybe someone may not have their national ID, which is why the Commission has produced voter location slips that have since been dispatched. They are all now into the districts, and the districts are going to issue a program to bring them to the voters using the parish election officials. So that voter location slip also has your features. It has it's an extract of the register. It's your voting particulars extracted from the register. So it also has a reader, a QR reader. You know, we're in a world of technology, and you can quickly scan that. It brings your features still on the system. And that's something that's going to help us a lot. But in case, of course, if someone, for one reason or the other, does not have the national ID with them, they do not also have the voter location slip. It got lost. You're looking for it in the house and you're not seeing it, and you need to run to the polling station.
True.
The voters register has been printed with a QR code. Now your personal QR code. So the National Voters Register now has a quick reader code. So I will still use the biometric voter verification unit to scan that code against your particulars. So you say, I am Bukenya Paul, I still need to biometrically identify you. So I'll take the code and look at, scan it. It's fast, it's just a seconds, and then your particulars will come out, and then I will know that yes, indeed a person by these names has presented themselves at the polling station. So you as a voter, what you need to do is to have your ID. If you do not have it, of course, you make sure you get your voter location slip. It's yours. We printed it for you. Make sure you get it. Polling day, you should have it. If for some reason you do not have it, then please present yourself at your polling station still. We displayed the register. You should know your polling station by now. Well, if you do not know it, that's why we're printing the voter location slip. But also the register is online. People can still use the locator to know their voting stations. But when you present yourself, we will have to biometrically identify you using those measures.
Right.
And that's what it is all about. Yeah. And you do not need to worry about it on your side. The teams are trained to help you to go through that. The training of the teams is ongoing right now.
Indeed, very profound. I love conversations that inform us with the facts so that we are very knowledgeable as to what we are dealing with. And today, this morning, we are looking at the biometric voter verification system. And we have the Deputy Spokesperson of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Paul Bukenya, alongside the PRO3 and consultants, Mr. Mugweri Geoffrey, to speak into these matters, sensitize us as Ugandans, because for as long as you and I are casting our votes come next month, definitely we are having an interaction with these systems, and you do not want to go there and have assumptions in your mind and spread propaganda, yet facts are being taught to you as to the why and why not things are happening the way they should. Now, 0709-602592, that's the WhatsApp number that you should be able to engage and be part of the conversation. And reading some of your comments, the advancement of biometric voter verification in Uganda is a significant step toward ensuring free, fair, and transparent elections. By using fingerprints and facial recognition to verify voters, the system helps reduce fraud, eliminate ghost voting, and build public trust in the electoral process. It's a modern solution that strengthens democracy and accountability. This is Ntambi Shafiq from Nyenje Mukono. Thank you, thank you. Shafiq, for coming through and sharing that comment. Good morning. Sometimes fingerprint reading gadgets fail to recognize the stored prints. How will the Electoral Commission resolve that? Mr. Bukenya, first speaking to that before we move forward.
Yeah, I think that's why we're saying that as you come to the polling station, you realize that in view of what I've told you, that this technology has been used before, but also even in other countries, all these are things that have been observed, and through research and development, the developers have been trying to work out how to extract, how to make sure they identify you even when it gets hard, or it wears out. But of course, like I said, when it becomes really hard to identify you and we do not have much time anyway, we will use then the facial features. The unit has capability now to, the function is activated now for scanning your facial features. Right. So if you come in and you press your thumb or any of your fingerprints, because you know when you are being registered, we captured all the features, the 10 fingerprints. So if it is the thumb and it's not working out, then you could go for the index fingers. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't know how to mention them all. Then there's up to the smallest fingers, the ring fingers. I don't know. I may lose it at that. But we'll take you through that to remove doubt. But if there is a challenge, including a disability, for example, because that could also be an issue, then the facial recognition system will kick in. But I've also told you that if for some reason or the other we come across a challenge, then we will identify you, what's your name, in the register, and then the register has a quick reader code that will scan to bring out your features. What features were captured about you? If they are unique features because of a disability or what, then it will also tell us in the system, because as you registered, everything that is unique about you was captured. So we'll be able to tell them and positively ID you, identify you, so that we maintain a principle of one man, one woman, one vote. Right. It's the objective for using and deploying this technology. Right.
And I hope you have been, that point of emphasis has been put across for you. Van, thank you so much for watching. What if my fingerprint refuses to match? What will be done? I'm Jonathan from Gora District. Can it refuse to match?
Then you are not the person.
You're not the person.
I think that is the reason, because the way God created us, we have unique identifiers. Yeah. And like you know how technology has advanced, right, up to the DNA. So the iris is a unique identifier. Even if you're identical twins and you have the same eyes, still the iris can uniquely identify you. Yes. And of course the fingerprint is a unique identifier. This is proven technology. And so if you fail these tests, then you have to be set aside. Perhaps you are not our voter.
Then the questioning is back to you. Not to
the system from the demos that we are going to be doing, continuing, but also from the demos we've done during the training, the error message is sent that voter, this person is not registered here. So of course you will then be given that report. The error report will come back with that.
I am an NRM veteran based in Munyonyo. My question is, if I'm an eligible voter but I have been deployed to work in a different constituency, will I be allowed to vote from where I have been deployed and where I'm working as a service provider of the Electoral Commission? This is Silva, mild care parent, School Munyonyo, who asks, so in other words, if they registered, for example, in Munyonyo, I see Mr. Mugweri here has something itching to say, and I'll allow him to speak into it. This is a veteran registered in Munyonyo, but what if they're deployed to serve elsewhere, or even with the Electoral Commission, but elsewhere? Shall they be allowed to vote from wherever they are deployed to work?
I don't want to imagine that that can be really possible. That is the reason why we are talking about these systems. For example, me, I vote from Jami Primary School in Kamonkoli Sub-County, that is Budaka District. Assuming on the voting day I have got what to do in Kampala, how can I go to another polling station where I'm not a registered voter and vote? I don't think, Paul, that is possible. No, it can't happen. You can only vote from where you registered from.
You have missed out on voting.
Certainly.
I hope you have been answered. You didn't? Okay, Silva, thank you so much. I hope that has given you the answer. Hi, moderator, thank you for the show. My question is, you receive billions of money for voters' education. What have you done so far? And is on, and I think you said time is not on our side. And then Mr. Bukenya, note that you are, I think I'll not read this because you're attacking, and we do not encourage violence or uncouth use of language. You can table your point without using attacking language. Do pardon me on that, so I'll just skip it. Good morning, UBC Uganda. I am John from Nakawa. I wanted to ask, I registered, but update I've never got any sign for an ID. Is this for your national ID? Please clarify. But if it's for voter registration, really that period, that window was given to us to check and confirm our registered places, to confirm where we are supposed to vote from. It's Good Morning Uganda. UBC TV is the station that you're watching, and we are looking at the biometric voter verification system. Mr. Mugweri, what plans does 3N Consultant have to educate, especially people, given the regions that you are handling, people who are in hard-to-reach areas? What is the plan on educating them on what the biometric voter verification system is?
Thank you so much, Julie. You realize that even now what we are doing, somebody may be in Kalangala, somebody may be in Mvuma Islands, but if that person has got an opportunity and is watching us, I think he's picking some few things which can help him or her. It is there is no system which may, there is no arrangement which may not have hardships and challenges. It is true, and that is why they're even called hard-to-reach areas. When we were doing the inception programs, when we were reaching out to those areas first, we noted all those challenges. They have got their unique issues which we must have a different consideration and provision for them to be reached. We have tried our best, but of course with some kind of challenges, and we keep on improving. We hope that through the various means we are using, a few of them will certainly have to take advantage of them and take these lessons.
Right. This is Edison Wagutiga from Mokono. Says some operators use manual verification to verify people who are not supposed to vote from that polling station. How are you handling this? I think this has been answered, but I'll allow Mr. Mugweri and Mr. Bukenya to speak into it. But from what has been so far tabled and submitted, it's that the system strictly verifies you and there's no other way of being verified if the system hasn't accepted you, right? The viewer is asking that there are people who are manually verifying people who are not supposed to be verified from particular polling station. For example, Mr. Mugwed is in Kampala, he's verified from here, and yet he's supposed to be in Budaka, and he's verified from here. How is the EC handling this?
I think, like I mentioned on polling day, the units that are loaded with Budaka data are deployed at the polling stations in Budaka. So if a person who is registered in Budaka presents themselves at a polling station in Civic Center here in Kampala, then, and they manage to come up to the unit for identification, the error message will say that you're not registered voter here.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. So that, of course, means a rejection. You have been negatively, it's a negative identification.
Right.
You don't belong there, and you will not proceed to vote. So I think what he's saying is that some people will manually try to identify people manually on the register. The statement I made at the beginning is that everyone is going to be biometrically identified. And that means we will test your fingerprints to ID you. If that doesn't work, for some reason that your fingerprints can't be read, then the scanner will do the facial recognition. If for some reason we have an issue that you mention your name, we'll still look at the register and we'll have to read that QR code. Is this the person? So that this system recognizes that you...
So generally, in one way or the other,
we will have to go through our biometric verification system for purposes of polling on that day. So that it is noted that there is a voter who has gone through the system using this unit. So I think the training of our teams is ongoing, and we know the scenarios that happen at polling stations. And during the training and preparation of our teams, we are taking them through likely scenarios, what could possibly happen at a polling station, and how to respond to it to ensure that there is biometric identification, or rather, verification for each and every one who presents themselves, including those people who will be turned away and told that, no, you do not belong here and you cannot vote from this polling station. So that they are advised to, go to the right polling stations. And I don't think that anyone should really go through that when the voter allocation slip is going to be issued. Everyone should really go to their polling station. And now for our friends who are even able to send in a text, you don't even need to wait for the VLS. Go to the website and go through the voter locator and print out your voter location. So that on polling day, you just walk to your station.
Right. Very profound indeed. And you talk about, right now there's a sensitization for the teams who are going to be on ground to operate these machines. Just thinking, what happens with technology? Things fail sometimes. What happens if this machine fails to operate in that moment?
First of all, we have 50,000 polling stations, 50,739 polling stations for purposes of this election. We procured 109,000 units. I hope I've said that right. It's times 2 the number of polling stations.
Right. Is that 19,142?
No, it is 100,000.
Oh.
109,000.
Oh, okay.
109,000 units. So now what that means is that we're looking at a scenario where a unit, for one reason or the other, gets a technical problem, a challenge. That's why each station is given 2 units. If one unit has, and we think that this has also been worked on, but what if, because you never know, what if it happens? Then there is a backup unit for that station. And the teams have been trained to ensure, first of all, that the units work. But what if a unit gets, unit A, which is the main unit, gets a problem? Then there's a backup unit for that station, which can then be deployed. So that we continue with the biometric identification and verification of voters on polling day. This is good for us, and we must ensure that we make it work. So the recruitment of IT support teams has been concluded. The training of the core teams, what we call training of trainers, is ongoing right now across the country. We're doing the training programs for our returning officers, assistant returning officers, and the trainers who will train the teams that are coming down to the lowest, to the lowest, teams. That is the polling station operators. We are recruiting 50,739 operators at each. These are the, in other words, this polling station has an operator, but on top of that, it also has technical support. So I think we are working on a system and to ensure that the technology works, because it's good for the elections. It's good for us. It's good to enhance the quality and the credibility of our election using the technology that has now come up. Right. And one way of doing that is ensuring that the right people vote at the right station and they don't vote more than once. Right. Because after elections, you always hear someone saying, no, there was rigging, there was this and that. So how do you address things like that? How do you address the challenge of multiple voting? One of the things you do is to bring technology that strictly ensures it's one man, one woman, one vote. And this is what biometric voter verification aims to achieve. Yeah.
One man, one woman, one vote. Now, this conversation definitely has to come to a close, but it's always a joy, and we look forward to always having the Electoral Commission and 3N consultants sensitize us. Mr. Mugweri, what are your parting shots?
I think, first of all, we need to appreciate that in this digitalized world, we cannot avoid technology. We are now moving into advanced technology, and it is a smooth process. It is something which quickens whatever we are doing. These systems are also not very new. You can even, you go to the banks, we use these systems. You cannot access your account without biometrics.
Sure.
We have now gadgets which we are using. For example, phones, you need to, I can only access this phone using my fingerprint. These systems are within us. So this is not something new. We simply need to appreciate, and we shall be good to go.
All right. Mr. Bokenya, what are your parting shots?
Yeah, we want to appeal to Ugandans to appreciate and embrace the innovations in technology that is used in election administration and election management, including biometric voter verification. So we've sent out adverts in the papers. Please come up, apply for these jobs. This work is going to be done by us, Ugandans, by our children. And we're looking at someone who can use a mobile phone. These are the people who will be trained to use the biometric voter verification kit. Because you use a smartphone, you know how to manage passwords, you know how to do the basic, you work with the interface here.
Yes, yes.
So as we do these trainings and as we do or prepare the detailed public demonstrations and all that, we pray that we appeal to you to participate. But also, most importantly, as our teams mobilize the communities at parish level to issue voter allocation slips, please pick up your voter allocation slip. It's going to help you a lot. It's going to make the process quicker, because by just scanning the QR code, we will not go through all this. It will take us just 5 seconds instead of looking for your particulars. That will take probably a minute or 2 minutes. So if you have your ID, please keep it safe. We need it. If you do not have it, get it. For those who have it, please keep it safe. We'll need it. And then for the VLS, please make sure you get your voter allocation slip when that announcement comes at your village, because the parish supervisor is going to do rounds in each of the villages to issue them, and pick it personally. Don't allow another person to pick it for you, please. It is very, very important.
Right.
Sure.
Let me close this with some of the comments that are coming through. Civilization is a movement, not a condition. I appreciate the Electoral Commission for its consistent effort towards improving the process. This is Bikumbi Asuman from Bugweri District. And Netherlands, Brooklyn, Leo Brazen says, can the BVV machine give a location of my area polling station? It just tells you that error. In other words, you're not from there, and the polling assistant will just assist in telling, or ideally directing you to the nearby polling stations. Thank you for the show. If the biometric system fails to verify me, yet I'm a pure voter of that particular station, where can I report for that? Aziz Isiko Abdelaziz in Mbale, as the EC deputy spokesperson has said, it cannot fail. They have a 360-degree verification system. If it fails with your fingerprints, then your facial identification won't fail. The QR code won't fail in one way or the other. So they've made sure that each system, in each bit of the system, has a window to verify you in one way or the other. Thank you so much for being on the show. We bring it to a close. Up next is JMU Sports with Ruben. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules